So, Mark, what are the very first steps that someone should take immediately after an accident?
So after you're involved in an accident, it's a very stressful time, having been through one myself, and it's really important to stay calm, remain at the scene, and kind of assess the how you're doing. Um, assess the damage to your vehicle and the other vehicle. It's best to take pictures, of your car and the other car and their license plate, and get the other driver's information, and to call the police, because you'll want to make sure that there's a police report that sort of documents exactly what took place and shows that you weren't the one who was at fault for what happened.
So, how should those accident details be documented at the scene and maybe maybe afterwards? I mean, the good news is that most of us now have smartphones with cameras, so that must help a lot compared to years ago, where like everybody has a camera now in their pocket and they can start taking some pictures at the scene.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, taking pictures is great. I mean, taking pictures of your car, the other car, your injuries. That's all sort of really important stuff that your attorney's going to want to review when they take on your case.
Should you take like pictures of, say it's a car accident and you're at an intersection or something like that? Is it a good idea to like go walk back and take some pictures of the whole intersection so that later on you can sort of explain, oh yeah, I was in this lane and then I was turning this way, and have it all kind of the whole, as opposed to like just close up pictures of like the damage to your car? Should you get like wider shots?
Yeah, I mean, if it's safe for someone to do that, obviously I don't want someone to walk out in like a busy intersection or something and try to take pictures. But yeah, if it's safe to do that, that's certainly helpful. I mean, for cases that I have, I will go out to the scene of where it took place and take pictures myself, just to get a sense of the area and what it's like. Yeah, so that's you can always do that afterwards as well.
What information should you exchange with the other parties that are involved in the accident?
Yeah, I mean, you want to give them your name, insurance information. It'd be very important to get their insurance information, because one of the first things your attorney is going to ask for is the name and the insurance company for the other driver, so you can inform them of a potential claim and kind of seeing what type of coverage they might have had to compensate you for your injuries.
When should you seek medical attention, and how do you document that?
So you should seek medical attention as soon as you need it. I mean, if some people they might be transported to the hospital following an accident if they suffered some severe injuries, or some people they kind of wake up the next day and they're just not feeling well, and they decide they're going to go to the ER or make an appointment with their doctor to get seen. So as soon as if you feel like you need that treatment, you should get it. And it's really important to kind of make a diary in sort of your injuries and how they've sort of like changed over time. I find that to be really helpful for some cases I've had where clients have been able to kind of relay, how their injuries have, changed over time and kind of impacted them and limited what they can do.
Yeah, so explaining that, yeah, I have this neck pain and it gives me headaches, and so I had to leave work, early for 6 days in a row, and then I had to take 2 days off, and then I was able to come back part time, or like that sort of thing is the kind of documentation that you'd want to be keeping.
Because something like that example, I mean, that could prompt us to say, oh well, you might have had some lost wages related to the accident, so maybe we want to get some documentation to support what your lost wages might be.
You mentioned calling law enforcement, calling the police, to the accident scene. Is that recommended that you always do that in the case of an accident, especially where somebody's injured?
Yeah, definitely. You'll want to have a police officer come down and make a report. You want to be able to talk to them and relay exactly what happened, especially for the purposes of liability. In a car accident, it's oftentimes a he said, she said of who was at fault. But if you can have a police report that's definitive as exactly what took place, it's certainly very helpful, because someone might tell you at the scene, oh yeah, it was my fault. Don't worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong. And then later on, they completely change their story. So if you can have a police report that kind of details things, that can really strengthen your case.
And then at what point should you get a lawyer involved?
Yeah, I'd say as soon as possible. I mean, obviously, you want to. The first thing is to take care of yourself and make sure you're okay and get medical treatment. But once you're able, it's important to contact an attorney early on. Um, once you're feeling a little better.
Yeah, because they can really help to, make sure that you're dealing with the insurance companies properly, and that you're, getting everything, especially where you have medical bills and things like that, making sure that you're, getting everything that's due to you, right?
Exactly, and yeah, the attorney will, work with you to gather all of your medical records and bills and prepare a demand package to send to the insurance company. Um, and they'll do all that for you.
When is it necessary to maybe like go to court or something like that, or file a case about the accident?
Yeah, so after your attorney prepares a demand package and sends it to the at fault party's insurance company, there'll be some negotiations that take place, and if the parties aren't able to come to a resolution, then it might be necessary to file suit, file a complaint in court, and there'll be hearings before a potential trial. Usually, it's a pretrial conference where the parties will meet at court, meet with the judge, kind of let the judge know what the issues are in the case, um, and what the path moving forward is going to be. Um, so yeah, I mean, most cases do settle before getting to litigation. They're able to settle before that, but sometimes it's necessary to file a lawsuit, especially if you're coming close to the 3-year statute of limitations. So you have 3 years after an accident to file a complaint. So a lot of times we'll have to file suit when it's getting close to that 3-year mark, just to kind of preserve the case and kind of keep it moving.